It was around 2:30 a.m. In an old alley of Lalbagh, Dhaka, Rowan sat alone in his dimly lit room. On his desk lay an ancient, leather-bound notebook blackened with age, its corners torn and pages brittle. Outside, rain lashed against the window, and every flash of lightning briefly lit up the room. Rowan had once been a university student in the Department of History, but now, his life was no longer about the past. It was about something far stranger. He had found the notebook in the hands of a dead man, an old bookseller named Kader Maya. The first line inside the notebook read, "Your shadow knows everything, but it no longer wants to follow you." From that night onward, strange things began to happen, too. The shadows change. At first, Rowan noticed that his shadow didn't quite match his movements. When he raised his hand, the shadow followed a second later. When he walked, the shadow seemed to take a different path. He thought it was exhaustion, or maybe just his imagination. But one evening, while standing in front of the bathroom mirror, he realized something terrifying. There was no shadow behind him. He looked down. His body was there, but the wall behind him was empty. Terrified, Rowan grabbed the notebook. The second page, once blank, now had words on it. "Now that you've noticed, it has started to notice you too." 3. When the shadow speaks, from that night onward, Rowan could barely sleep. He kept the notebook beside his bed, under the lamplight. One night, he woke up to a faint scratching sound. Something or someone was writing. He opened his eyes. The notebook was flipping its own pages slowly. New words began to appear, one by one. "Why did you bind me? I'm your other half," Rowan froze. He hadn't written a single word, yet the book seemed to read his mind. Desperate, Rowan took the notebook to Dr. Mahfuzur Rahman, a retired professor known for his research on secret societies and ancient symbols. The professor examined the book and went pale. "Do you know what this is?" he asked quietly. Rowan shook his head. "This is the Shadow's notebook, first recorded in 1871 by a British researcher named Henry Older. He claimed that when a person loses connection with their shadow, their mind begins to collapse. This notebook was designed to restore that connection, or to test it." Rowan swallowed hard. "Why is it happening to me?" Dr. Mahfuz whispered. "Because the book chose you." Days passed. Rohan's shadow began to act entirely on its own. Sometimes, even when the lights were off, he could see something, a darker figure, standing beside him. One night, it spoke. "You think I'm your reflection," it said softly. "I'm everything you wanted to be but never dared." Rowan shouted, "Who are you?" The shadow smiled. "I'm your unspoken wish." Then the light flickered and went out when lightning flashed through the window. Rowan and his shadow were standing face to face.
The curse of next morning. Rowan's friends broke open his door. The room was empty. Only the notebook remained on the table. On the last page, new words had appeared. "I am free now. Rowan is the shadow." No one ever found him. Some said he'd gone mad and disappeared. But that night, Dr. Mahfuz turned on his bedside lamp and saw a strange shadow standing behind him. It wasn't his own. -7. A new beginning months later, the same notebook appeared again. In a second-hand bookstore, a schoolboy named Rian bought it for 50 taka. On the first page was written, "Your shadow is watching you," and beneath that, a signature, Rowan, -8. The shadow's world. Ryan was an ordinary boy, but after he got the notebook, he became quiet, withdrawn. His mother often found him whispering to the wall. One night, he wrote, "Who are you?" The notebook replied, "I am your shadow. If you want, we can switch." Rian frowned. "What do you mean? Stand in the light?" It wrote, "I'll come out of the dark." That was the last night anyone saw him. His mother entered his room the next morning. It was empty, only a shadow on the wall, with eyes that gleamed faintly. -9. The final revelation. Mahfuz, now old and frail, heard about the boy's disappearance. He went to the house and found the notebook open on the table. The page read, "The line between man and shadow has been broken." Panicked, he threw the notebook into the fire. It burned, but from the ashes, one final line appeared, glowing faintly, "A shadow never dies." -10. The end. That is 12 years later. A young university girl was researching ancient texts in the library. She opened an old book, and a loose page slipped out. On it was written, "Are you sure your shadow is really yours?" She smiled, picked it up, and walked outside into the sunlight. But on the library's CCTV footage, the cameras showed something impossible. She laughed, yet her shadow stayed behind.